The story opens at Danica's engagement party. Her closest friend Ava is there, along with Ava's ex-boyfriend Milo and Danica's fiancé, Teddy. The four of them had been inseparable since high school. After the celebration, they decide to go for a drive together. Along the way, they run into Stevie, another old friend whose life took a rough turn after graduation. Her father vanished with her college savings, leaving her to scrape by with odd jobs. Despite everything, they invite her to join them. It's the 4th of July, and the group is heading out to catch the fireworks. But things take a dark turn when Teddy steps into the road, almost daring a car to hit him. At the last moment, Milo lunges forward and pulls him out of harm's way. The others are furious at Teddy's recklessness. Then another car appears. Swerving to avoid Teddy, it crashes into a roadside barrier and teeters dangerously near the edge of a cliff. The group rushes to help, trying to keep the vehicle from falling. The driver is still alive inside, but despite their efforts, the car slips and plunges into the ravine. Ava and Stevie insist they need to help, but Teddy calls the police and urges everyone to leave. He claims he's reported the accident and says they should walk away. Ava and Stevie protest, but the others agree to leave. On the way back, they pass a police cruiser heading toward the scene, but instead of turning back, they continue to Teddy's house. There, Teddy assures them his father will take care of everything. All they need to do is stay quiet. After some hesitation, even Ava agrees to keep the secret. The story jumps forward a year. Ava returns to her hometown and meets a young woman named Tyler at the airport. Tyler is headed to the same town and accepts a ride from Ava and Milo. During the drive, Tyler reveals she's working on a horror podcast about a gruesome massacre that happened there in 1997. Soon after, Ava and Milo arrive at Danica's bridal shower. Stevie is there too. As Danica opens her gifts, she finds an envelope with a chilling message: "I know what you did last summer." Danica is visibly shaken and tries to hide her reaction. Her fiancé enters the room, but it's not Teddy. Danica and Teddy broke up. Danica suspects Teddy sent the note as a cruel joke. After all, no one else knew what happened that night. Concerned, Ava, Milo, and Stevie visit Teddy on his boat to confront him. But Teddy denies everything. He insists he didn't send the note and wants no part in whatever's going on. He's already dealing with his own issues, especially with his father. That night, Danica senses someone watching her from outside. Just then, her fiancé Wyatt sneaks up and startles her. After the scare, Danica heads upstairs to take a bath. She puts on headphones and relaxes with music. Meanwhile, downstairs, the pool lights flicker on. Wyatt walks over to investigate, but the lights suddenly go out again. He turns around, and is struck by an arrow. Blinded by the darkness, Wyatt couldn't see where the attack was coming from. A second arrow struck him, and before he could react, a figure emerged, dressed in a fisherman's slicker. The killer stepped forward and finished him off with a vicious blow from a sharpened fishing hook. Upstairs, Danica remained completely unaware. Her headphones drowned out the chaos below. By the time she returned, she found Wyatt's lifeless body laid out before her. Beside him, a chilling message had been scrawled: "You can erase the past." The group reconvened at the police station. Teddy showed up too, explaining that his father had already spoken with the police chief. A patrol car was assigned to watch over Danica's house. But inside, the tension was palpable. Ava finally broke her silence. She confessed to Danica why she had distanced herself from the group. The guilt of hiding the truth about that night had consumed her. She couldn't carry the burden anymore. By the next day, it was clear, someone was targeting them. But the identity of the stalker remained a mystery. Milo asked Ava about Tyler, the girl she had met at the airport. Meanwhile, Danica began listening to Tyler's podcast. In it, Tyler recounted a chilling story from 1997. A fisherman in a slicker had terrorized the town, hunting down a group of teens who had covered up a murder. It all started with a single note. The group grew increasingly uneasy. The parallels were undeniable. The same pattern was unfolding again. Then another revelation surfaced. Teddy's father had scrubbed all records of the 1997 killings from the internet to protect the town's reputation and keep investors from backing out. The scene shifts to Tyler, wandering the town with her microphone, recording new material for her podcast. Ava meets up with her, and Tyler takes her to a place called Bayside House. She explains that one of the fishermen's most brutal attacks had happened there. Tyler shares that decades ago, a girl named Julie received a note that read, "I know what you did last summer." Ava begins to grow suspicious. Could Tyler be the one behind the new attacks? But Tyler clarifies, Julie was one of the only survivors from that original massacre. She had refused to speak with Tyler, unwilling to relive the trauma. Tyler hurries off to chase her next lead. Ava, now uneasy, sends a warning message to her friends, saying Tyler seems suspicious. But before she can act further, the killer appears, right in front of her. It's not Tyler. The fisherman's slicker figure lunges at Ava. Tyler tries to flee, but the doors are locked. Ava fights back, struggling against the masked attacker. Suddenly, the killer vanishes, and a heavy cage drops from above, trapping Ava inside. Tyler bolts, running for her life. But the killer's true target was her all along. By the time Ava forces her way out of the cage, it's too late. Tyler is dead. Stevie arrives just in time to help Ava, but both freeze in horror as the killer displays Tyler's body, dangling it in front of them like a warning. Police arrive again, but the group knows the truth. The authorities are under Teddy's father's influence. They won't expose what's really happening. They'll only bury it deeper. The story shifts to Julie, the woman who survived the original nightmare in 1997. Even now, the memories haunt her. Ava visits Julie, pleading for help. She explains that the horror is happening again. Two of their friends are already gone. She begs Julie to help them survive. Julie takes Ava back to her home. There, she shares her theory. If history is repeating itself, then the killer must be someone connected to the boy who died in the original accident. But Ava admits, she doesn't know anything about that boy. There was no trace of the boy online. Every search turned up empty. With the local authorities actively suppressing information, finding answers felt impossible. Julie offered Ava one final piece of advice: find the killer before the killer finds you. Meanwhile, Teddy's father, Grant, and the police chief held a press conference. They declared Tyler's death a suicide, claiming she had been mentally unstable. But Ava and Milo weren't buying it. They argued this wasn't an isolated tragedy. Danica's fiancé had been murdered just days earlier, and Ava herself had been attacked by someone dressed in a fisherman's slicker. Just then, another figure entered the room, Ray, the second known survivor from the 1997 massacre. He confirmed their worst fears. This had all happened before, and now it was happening again. But Grant refused to acknowledge it. He insisted the police would protect the town and announced that the church would remain open as a safe haven. Pastor Judah echoed the sentiment, inviting everyone to attend a special prayer service for protection. The scene shifts to Stevie, who works at Ray's bar. The group gathers there and confides everything to Ray. That's when a new truth emerges. Julie is actually Ray's ex-wife. Following Ray's advice, they begin investigating the boy who died in the accident, Sam Cooper. Their first step is to find out whose vehicle Sam had been driving that night. At the municipal office, Ava pretends she lost the paperwork in a car accident involving her brother on the previous 4th of July. Milo adds that the vehicle was a pickup truck and asks if any similar registrations exist from that time. That's when they uncover a shocking detail: the truck belonged to Pastor Judah. Meanwhile, Danica and Teddy head to the cemetery to search for Sam Cooper's grave. There, they also find the resting places of those who died in 1997. Danica stumbles upon an old photo of a girl named Helen. At Sam's grave, fresh flowers have been placed, proof that someone who knew him had visited recently. Danica asks the security guard to check the surveillance footage. He heads inside, but before he can return, the killer strikes, murdering him. Teddy, concerned by the delay, enters the building. But the killer slips past him and heads straight for Danica. She runs, escaping into a nearby warehouse. She hides, but the killer finds her. Just as he's about to strike, Teddy arrives. The killer vanishes into the shadows. Back at Julie's home, her security system detects movement outside. Armed with scissors, she cautiously approaches the door. But it's not the killer, it's Ray. He confronts her, demanding to know why she sent Ava on a hunt for the killer. Ray explains that one of the girls working at his bar is part of the group, and she doesn't deserve to be caught in this nightmare. Just then, Ava and Stevie call them. The focus returns to the group of friends. They gather at Danica's house for safety. When Stevie has to leave for her shift at the bar, Danica insists no one should sleep alone. That means Ava and Milo will share a room. Inside, the two grow close. The tension between them builds, and they nearly become intimate. But when Ava whispers, "Punish me. Just listen," Milo freezes. Something shifts in him. He pulls away, stops himself, and quietly leaves the room. Sitting alone in his car, Milo tries to gather his courage. "You can do this," he mutters to himself. Milo finally summoned the courage to step out of his car. But in that moment, the killer struck. A rope tightened around his neck, choking him until he collapsed. Milo was dead. From the window, Ava saw his car pulling away. Moments later, she received a message from his phone. "I just need some time." The next morning, Ava and Danica went to the church to speak with Pastor Judah. He wasn't there at first, giving Danica a chance to sneak into his private quarters while Ava distracted him upon his return. Inside, Danica searched his belongings and discovered a photo. Judah standing beside Sam Cooper. Suddenly, Judah entered the room. Danica hid in the closet, holding her breath. After escaping, Ava and Danica rushed to the police chief, insisting Judah was involved. But instead of helping, the chief reported everything to Grant. He dismissed the girls as hysterical and ordered they be held at the station for a while. Meanwhile, Teddy was relaxing in a steam bath when he noticed strange noises. On the fogged glass, someone had written, "You are next." Doors began slamming shut. As Teddy stepped out to investigate, the killer ambushed him, stabbing him repeatedly with a blade. Teddy fought back, crawling toward his house for safety. Inside, his father Grant sat listening to music, unaware. Outside, fireworks lit up the sky as the killer dragged Teddy across the lawn. The doorbell rang. Grant opened the door to find his son's bloodied body lying before him. And in that instant, the killer struck again, murdering Grant on his own doorstep. Later, Danica thought she heard a voice. She stepped outside and saw a girl holding a fishing hook. Wyatt's lifeless body lay nearby. As Danica looked closer, she realized it was Helen, one of the survivors from 1997. Helen said, "You killed Sam Cooper. Now your fiancé is dead." She warned Danica she'd be next. Then Helen transformed into a ghost and lunged at her. Danica woke up. It had all been a nightmare. Back at the police station, chaos erupted. The town had gathered after the killer hung Grant and Teddy's bodies for all to see. Ray told the remaining girls they needed to escape immediately. But before they could, Ava discovered Milo's corpse inside his car. With no other option, Ava, Danica, and Stevie stole Teddy's boat and fled. At the same time, police arrived at the church searching for Pastor Judah, but found him already dead. One officer noticed a photo showing Judah and Sam Cooper, with Stevie standing beside them. It was Stevie all along. She attacked Ava and Danica, revealing her face and confessing everything. She had been in love with Sam. He was on his way to pick her up in Judah's truck that night. Judah knew about the crash but accepted hush money from Grant to stay silent. So Stevie killed him. When she learned Sam had died in the accident, her world shattered. At first, she considered ending her own life, but instead, she chose revenge. Just then, Ava reached for a flare and screamed. Danica fought back. Ray arrived to help, but Stevie pressed her hook to Danica's throat. In one swift motion, she killed her. Ray shouted, "Why would you do this? Why didn't you come to me?" Then he shot Stevie dead. Afterward, Ava called Julie and told her the truth. Stevie had been the killer. Julie searched for Stevie's name but couldn't believe it. She fled in panic. Meanwhile, Ava stayed with Ray at his bar. But then she noticed a wound on his hand, the same place she had struck the killer during Tyler's murder. Fear gripped her. She tried to leave, but the door was locked. Ray said, "You know it's me." Ava ran, but he caught her and tried to finish the job. She smashed a window to escape, but Ray wouldn't let her go. Ava fought back, and just then Julie arrived. She saw Ava injured and Ray standing there, smirking. "Happy 4th of July, Julie," he said. That's when the final truth came out. Stevie had asked Ray to help her carry out the revenge. Ray was furious that the town had buried the events of 1997, pretending the victims never mattered. That's why he joined her in the fisherman Slicker killings. Ray sneered, "Now I'll tell everyone you're the real killer, Julie. You never got over 1997. You did all this." But before he could finish, Ava, on Julie's command, shot Ray with a crossbow. At the same time, Danica, who had survived, crawled to the center of the pier, barely clinging to life. Days later, Ava and Danica were shown recovering in the hospital. And with that, the story comes to an end.